Let's be real. The real problem with marriage is not marriage. It's divorce. Men would have no problem getting married if they knew it was a forever thing. Multiple studies report that approximately 70% of all divorces in heterosexual marriages are initiated by the woman. And that number can go as high as even 90% amongst college-educated women. And DC has a lot of educated women.
True Living got me out here lit on this rooftop right now, y'all. It's crazy.
I'm lit too.
It's lit, bro.
We had one drink.
From one drink, bro.
One.
CL, they out here doing their thing, cause. So what's going on with your matches, bro, on Hinge? I know you've been.
So like, I deleted it, right? I never took it off of New York. So when I got back on here, I swear to God, I have like 50, 70 likes probably.
That's crazy. First up, guys, boy Kenny Corey here, and I'm dropping this video because I seen in the last video, it clearly got a little bit of attention. I literally been trying to make follow up to the last video on this channel for like, I would say at least 2 or 3 days by now. And every time I get on the roll with filming and shooting, so it ends up coming up, and next thing you know, I get distracted and half of the video is not even finished. Like I got all these intros right now, but I don't have actual full story footage of videos. Anyways, with that said, it's your boy Kenny Corey, and I want to touch more on this whole marriage topic here in the DMV/DC area, because it seems to be a very, very serious topic that people want to know about. I didn't even realize that people wanted to talk about marriage the way that they want to talk about it. And I think I want to start by saying this. Men really don't have a problem with the idea of marriage in the sense of like, you know, finding somebody to be with for the rest of your life and having, you know, fun with someone, having a partner in life. It's all the negative things that come with it that make it like pretty much not really worth it, to be honest with you. The real issues when it comes to marriage in general is just like the negative effects that, you know, marriage can have on you. You know, and I figured today might be a good day, or this video might be a good time to tell you guys about an experience that I went through in life. Maybe that can kind of help bridge the gap on what's going on, you know, in some guys' head, because it's, you know, there's a couple guys out here who maybe have given it a shot before. Because once upon a time, I was married. You know, let me sit down and talk about this one, because I'm going to have to really dig into this. Get started. I know this is random, but I wonder what happened to the Hermes location. Okay, guys. So, once upon a time, your boy was married. When I say once upon a time, I mean like far, long time ago, like 10 plus years ago, I was married. And long story short, you know, the marriage just didn't work out. I'm just to save you guys a long story. And the devastation that I felt after the divorce and going through just the breakup process in general was devastating. I don't even think there's a word for how down I felt and for how long. It was a couple, I almost want to say a couple years before it, you know, it took me a couple years for me to really fully get over that, you know, and just to come into grips with reality that it was going downhill in the first place was just very, very hard for me, you know. And as a man, I feel like I'm not the only man that has ever felt that type of pain before. Like it's like a whole nother level of pain when you go through a divorce. And I'm not even talking about the financial piece, because at that time I was only like 23 when a divorce happened. So it's not like I had a lot built up in life or anything like that. So it wasn't like I was losing anything. But as far as just the psychological part, or the psychological piece that I went through, it was too much. And I mean, not only was it just basically too much, but I mean, it almost took me out of there, bro. It almost took me completely out of there. And you guys know what I mean when I say it almost took me out of there. Like, I contemplated basically unaliving myself. I contemplated not being here on this planet anymore, because I honestly wholeheartedly married because I was in love. And when the divorce happened, it was just kind of like, it was hard to come to grips to reality with that the person who was my best friend at the time, you know, the person who I loved simply just didn't love me back. And it happens. And it's like one of those hard lessons that a lot of us have probably already learned in life, but, you know, people change their way they feel all the time. You know you're downtown when you hear sirens like every 5 seconds. Every 5 minutes is a new siren downtown. What was I about to say? Yep. And then it's making the corner and driving right by here too. It's not even going away. It just did a U-turn around the whole block. So annoying. Okay, so why did I even bring up this whole thing about the way, you know, going through a divorce makes men feel? Honestly, it's because I really don't feel like women marry all the time for love. It seems like a lot of times in today's day and age, like especially in 2025, a lot of women are choosing to marry because they want to be taken care of. They look at marriage as like a means to almost like a retirement. Like, I've worked hard enough in life. I'm tired of working hard. I'm tired of going through stress. I just want someone to just go ahead and just take care of me and just chill. So when they marry for those reasons, and then like they end up going through a divorce and they end up coming up, out of the situation in a better situation than they were when they first started the relationship, then it kind of makes you feel like, well, then it's really even that much more devastating for men, because a lot of time men, we marry for love. We actually marry for love. We marry because we saw something that we liked, we fell in love with it, and we decided we wanted to make this a forever thing. And that's a really hard mental thing to do for a man, to just be like, this is gonna be the only woman that I'm gonna be with for the rest of my life. We really genuinely tend to mean that whenever we get married. And then when you partner that with it being no secret that women initiate 80% of all divorces, I mean, you get my drift. You'll start to understand where I'm going when I say men aren't trying to get married in DC, or really not too many places in the United States do men feel like it's in their favor to want to get married. And then I think it's really interesting whenever I have these conversations with women, and it's like they look at me crazy whenever I say there's nothing in it for men to get married. Like, it's not that men don't want to get married. Don't get it twisted. We do want to get married, but realistically, it's like, it's really, really hard to find someone who makes it make sense for us. You get what I'm saying? Because more than likely, if a relationship doesn't bring about like an obvious financial gain, and then the only other thing, I guess, for a man that you would think that we would at least want is to have companionship and loyalty, but it seems like even that is very scarce nowadays. Something else people don't talk about, when it comes to like men and what happens to them after a divorce, you really kind of start to go through an identity crisis, because some men who've been married for 10 plus years, or maybe even 3-4 years, you've gotten real comfortable in your role as a provider. You're comfortable in the role, and having like a reason to go on every day, because you have a purpose in life, which is to protect, provide for the person you're in a relationship with. And when you go through that divorce, it's like most of that is usually snatched from you. And then let's say if you guys had kids, most of the time, unless you can really prove that the woman that you were in a relationship with was a really horrible person, most courts are going to side with giving custody of kids to the woman. So now you've been stripped of not only your husband duties and titles, but then pretty much waking up being a father every day kind of also starts to feel like that's non-existent as well. You just kind of like touch and go, because you got to go see them at their mom's house, or if she's even giving you the ability to come by and see her. You know how people start to play games with kids. I think for me, one of the toughest things that I went through during my divorce when I was a lot younger, I guess like the guilt, the shame of like trying to figure out what it is that I did wrong as a human being, as a person, or as a husband. I really couldn't put my finger on exactly what it was that I did wrong, because I was raised to treat women a certain way, to be a certain type of way. If I was to ever get married in general, I was taught certain things, and when it automatically all unraveled to the point where reality set in and I realized that wasn't the correct way to be a husband, it was just hard for me to just try to figure out what is the correct way, what am I supposed to be doing out here, and it was just a lot I went through in general. Basically, I started to beat myself up pretty bad, which a lot of guys tend to end up doing as well, or a lot of other people in general. And then you got isolation. Isolation, man, I think it's no secret that a man's isolation and a woman's isolation are like two totally different types of isolation. Isolation for a woman can be like, oh my God, I'm single, I'm by myself, I live alone. Let me put on a nice dress and go out to a bar and just sit there and do nothing. And people will approach you. Like, people are going to speak to you because you're a woman. People, want to say something nice to a pretty woman. You can go out, you can have one night stands if you just choose to just want to do that. And for those brief moments in time, you don't feel alone because you're with someone. Men, on the other hand, we tend to go through a much deeper isolation because we don't really have those options. You can go dress up and be, nice and clean cut, work out and all that stuff, and go to a bar or go out as a guy, and you won't get one compliment. You won't get anybody speaking to you if you don't decide to speak first, all that type of stuff. So it's a little more complicated, and I feel like the isolation that men go through after a divorce is much, much stronger. All right, guys, real quick, I just want to remind you guys that I know I'm just like kind of running my mouth right now, but I am also here in Washington, D.C., and I am also doing a little bit of traveling. So if you guys ever want to know what it's like to actually be in downtown DC, I kind of also like to use my videos as like also a reference to being able to show you how nice things are out here. That's why I've been like throwing all these little random B-roll shots in there. And also, I would also like to remind you guys as well that I have a membership side of my channel. If you guys want to join the membership, hold on, let me stand in the shade. If you guys want to join the membership side, then you get a lot more perks. Okay, you get access to videos that no one else can see. I'm really trying to really focus more on giving you guys some quality content on that side. Get a lot more personal with my side, like, you know, get deeper into like the whole marriage side of things and tell you guys about what I went through and how I became who I am. And also, I just feel like there's just some content that just is so real and so dope that it really only members, only people who really support me should have access to stuff like that. So make sure you guys check out the membership down in the description. I think it's only like $5 a month, and you guys get access. And then I'm also going to start doing some members only lives. So just want to throw that out there. A lot of more membership only perks coming very soon because I'm getting very serious about this channel. On a side note, I used to shop at H&M, man, and I just feel like lately they just haven't been having no selection that I actually like anymore. I don't know what's up with that, H&M. Like, if y'all want to talk about, you know, some options or some clothes that you guys want to start putting in your stores to help y'all come back and bounce back, let me know, man. I'm gonna do it from the job. I'm a guy from the job because I definitely used to shop at H&M all the time, but now I just don't even feel the need to go in there anymore. I used to at least go by and just get at least a t-shirt, a little $5, $10 t-shirt. All right, now let's talk about the financial piece. I've been kind of avoiding it, but we're gonna touch on it for like 2 seconds. Imagine working very hard for, I don't know, 10, 20 years of your life to build a certain quality lifestyle for yourself because we don't know your background.
All right, guys, sorry, but my mic died. I talked for like a good 3-4 minutes after I got done with that last little part and watched the video back and realized that the mic had completely died. So what I was gonna say is that if you took that last statement I made before I finished the last clip, the answer is no. If you've been through that much pain and suffering after a divorce, then more than likely you're not gonna want to try it again, especially not anytime soon. You're gonna feel so convinced that you don't want to try it again that you may even try to help other people who might be thinking about going down that same path to maybe not do it or think very strongly before they do. Which is why I think a lot of men in my comments tend to comment because they've probably been down the path and they've probably experienced some of the things that I've been talking about in these videos. And they're just trying to like warn more people in the future, like, hey, make sure that this is really what you want to do because marriage can really be a very serious thing that ultimately completely alters your life. But anyways, that was all I was going to pretty much say for the end of this video. Now, one thing I also want to throw in there is the fact that I am really trying to grow this channel. I want to roll right now to 30,000 subscribers. So if you guys could please hit that subscribe button, it would mean a lot to me because it's going to help me grow and be taken serious as a better creator, and also just in general give me motivation to keep making these videos. I'm not gonna lie, these last 2 videos have been amazing. You guys have been showing up and showing out, and I'm just sitting here like, dang, like it's been a minute since I talked about the dating stuff, and I forgot how potent and how much you guys really want to talk about it. So if you guys want to keep me going and keep the conversation going strong, then make sure you hit the subscribe button. Now, for those supporters who really want to support, who really are my top 10, you know what I'm saying, supporters or fans, or if you're just a part of the Corey gang, then join my channel as a member. And we really gonna get some things popping, okay? If you guys have been paying attention to social media right now, a lot of like content creators who are switching over to the streaming everyday style platforms because they're able to have like subscriptions, like paid subscriptions to their actual channel, and it helps them build it up and be bigger and bigger and start having more popular faces on their channels and stuff like that when it comes to like Twitch and stuff like that. But I think a lot of people don't realize that you can do the same thing here on YouTube, which is why I want to direct your attention to the link in the description that I always have on every video, where you guys can hit the join button and become a member of my channel and get access to things that other people don't have access to. You feel me? Like the fact that I'm here at the MLK Library here in downtown DC, and I'm about to see if I can like kind of slide in and be a part of this little fashion show they got going on. You know, with me being a photographer, Ken and Corey, I'm not sure if you guys put 2 and 2 together on that, but with me being a photographer / videographer and stuff, fashion shows are definitely a part of like my forte of the world and stuff that I'm really a part of. You feel me? Things that I've done in the past. So I want to see if I can at least show up to this fashion show, or just to kind of look at it through the window. I don't know. I think what's crazy is I walked in here and I just started asking questions, and it so happened that I met the producer of the fashion show, and he gave me a ticket online to be able to come check it out. So I think I'm going to only reserve that footage specifically for the membership side, because I didn't even plan on shooting that content. And stuff I don't plan on, but it's amazing still. I think I want to start reserving that for a special select audience. that watch this channel. So let's see if we can not only build the subscribers, but let's see if we can also get my membership up. I think my near goal is to have like 20 members so I can really start having you guys active. Oh my God, there's a freaking rat. Huge rat. Sorry. I really want to hear from you guys a lot more and have you guys more active and give you guys more perks and talk to you guys directly about what I should do on the channel. Alright guys, with that said, man, I hope you guys have a great weekend. I'm dropping this video today if possible. It's Saturday. I'm going to start having like probably like a guaranteed day that I'm going to drop videos, and I'm thinking about making it either Thursday or Fridays. I think every Friday I'm going to drop a video from now on. I wanted to get this video out yesterday, but a lot of the footage I was shooting with my boy Caleb and all the stuff I've been doing, I was going out to like a little event, like a karaoke night last night. I didn't quite finish with the footage because I kept getting distracted with what's going on, or maybe the night just didn't fully go as planned, so I just kind of scrapped that footage. But I'm throwing in some of the clips here so you guys can see that I have been trying to make some content. But anyways, with that said, I'll see you guys later on in the next video. Peace.